Alrighty, so today we are back, and today we are going to be covering a 10th anniversary LR, or a 10th anniversary just in general, team building guide. Now, what is this going to be consisting of? This is going to be consisting of a dedicated section to each one of the anniversary LRs and talking about potential teams for all 6 of these characters, how you can build teams with each different scenario, characters you might be missing, the type of event you might be going into, and all of those fun things. Now, the 10th anniversary has done a really good job of sort of varying the content, so that way it is not a one-size-fits-all sort of team, the kind of way that we saw it during the 9th anniversary, right, where it was like Beast Gohan, UI Goku, Evolution Blue Vegeta, Gogeta, Broly, the Gammas, and you were kind of just good to go and beat everything in the game. That is certainly not the case for the 10th anniversary. So with that being said, we are going to go in the order of the fusions first, and then we are going to move on to the Carnival LRs one by one. So I hope you guys do enjoy today's video, and if you do, don't forget to leave a like before you go, and let me know what team you guys have been using in specific events. So with all that being said, let's get started with Super Vegito. Okay, so first and foremost for Vegito, we will switch over here to Global here in a minute. I just realized we're on JP. Let me go to Global. Okay, so working on Super Vegito here, we went over to the global side of things, so things are easier to read. What we are going to be doing is starting with his leader skill, and that is going to be consisting of Earth Protecting Heroes, Fused Fighters, and Pure Saiyans. This is definitely like the de facto best team in the game, but there are different ways that you could potentially run it. So we're going to go for Pure Saiyans, we are going to look for Earth Protecting Heroes, and then last but not least, we are going to be looking for Fused Fighters. Now, there are a few characters. We want partial match here. Oopsie. There we go. So, partial match, right? Now, we can look and see potentially what characters we would want to use for Super Vegito's team, right? Keep in mind, this global does not have everybody, but there are different ways that we can build this. So, what if we are trying to build a team for a long-form event where we need to have stacking prioritized and we can potentially run out of, like, Beast Gohan's intro buff and stuff like that? How are we going to build a team for that? I'm glad that you asked, because this is what we are going to do. First and foremost, we want to run Vegito at the leader skill. I'd say Vegito is the closest thing to a must-have character right now, just with how powerful he is in these long-form events. At the HP bar, it really doesn't matter. 300 million Vegito's got you, 150 million Vegito's got you, 500 million Vegito's got you in terms of the enemy HP. So this is a character that you're definitely going to be running to run 2 of if you potentially can, and it is a solid option. Now, moving along, right? I am recording this before the year 10's EZA, or the year 7's EZA, excuse me, so potentially these guys could be added to this team, but for now, we're not going to talk about them. I could upload this video after the info has been revealed, but right now, when I'm recording this, I do not know. So, the next character that we need to talk about, obviously Gogeta. You guys know how Gogeta works at this point. This is going to be a very good character for short-form content, long-form content. He's just going to work everywhere that you need him to work, right? The next character I want to talk about on this specific team build is going to be Gotenks. I think that Gotenks works very well. Now, this guy, you guys know, can potentially go to slot 1 if he needs to. You're better off running him in slot 2 or slot 3, but sometimes you can put him there, right? Now, this is like sort of like your 3 essentials, right? I think almost every run that you're going to be doing, these are going to be the 3 characters that you want to bring every single time. I think Gotenks right now, combined with these 2, is just a really lethal combination. Now, let's say you're trying to do battle-hardened formidable foes where you're going to be in a little bit more short bursts for content. Here are 2 characters that I highly recommend. These are going to be Broly as well as Beast Gohan. I think that these 2 characters work extremely well in that form of content because their damage reduction is basically going to be active for the whole fight. I think that's very important to have, and it's going to be a solid option for you, right? Beast Gohan obviously is much better with his intro buff active, and if the content isn't going any longer than 8 turns, he's going to have it active the whole time. You can use the taunt when you need it, and it's going to work out very, very well for you. So I think that Broly and Beast Gohan are a little bit more focused for events that aren't going to be going 10, 11, 12 turns. That way that they always are going to have their quote-unquote invincibility, right? So those are going to be characters I highly recommend. Let's move off of them and potentially restructure our focus to some other characters. I think Gohan, you can run and mix and match on any different type of team. He's always going to have that high-octane offense that you're going to be wanting to look for, that he brings to the table. He packs a punch for you, and he works out very well in a lot of the new content in my experience using him. Something else you're going to want to potentially run. I think this Evolution Blue Vegeta at times can look good, and it's going to be the same thing for Goku and Frieza, right? In Battle-Hardened Formidable Foes specifically, I'm a really big fan of this character as they have the ability to stun in Phase 1, and most of the Phase 1s in these fights can be stunned. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Now, the next character I want to discuss is going to be Great Ape Vegeta. He has access to a giant form. You guys know how overpowered that is, as well as just slot 1 capability, right? They're calling him Beast Gohan too, and for good reason. I think this guy is an extremely viable slot 1 tank that can hold it down. Now, specifically in the hit fight, I was having a little bit of trouble using him. That fight just dropped about 2 hours ago, so I was having a little bit of trouble there, but overall, I really still like this character, so I'm going to throw him in on this list, and I believe, if I am checking correctly, those are going to be all the major LR options. Now, when it comes to TURs, the Super Easy A for this guy, I still have to get around to doing it. He could potentially work on the team really well. And then the Super Easy A for AGL Vegito, I think is going to work very well in short and long forms of content. So the Vegito team, honorable mentions go to the year 6s as well. But if you were to tell me, like, what is the most optimal setup for this team right now, I'm going to be running something like this. And then the 6th spot is just kind of going to be depending on the event. But overall, I'd say a team like this is going to be the optimal team that I am running for Super Vegito. So that is what I would do for Super Vegito. Let's move on to Super Gogeta, which is going to be extremely, extremely similar, but we can potentially move some other characters around, right? So we're going to take off Earth Protecting Heroes, and now we are going to go over to Successors. So with Successors, we get access to a few more characters, but nothing too crazy. You're basically going to be running the same team here, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But if you want to potentially run Super Saiyan 3 into Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I think I forgot to mention him, but he is very, very good, obviously. Running a team setup like this is going to work very well. The big difference between the Gohan or the Vegeta team compared to the Goku team for Vegito is you are going to be losing access to Beast Gohan. So this is where things do get a little bit dicey. You could run Broly, you could run in Evolution Blue Vegeta. In a dodge canceling event, you can get away with Tech UI Goku. I think he works out very well. STR Evolution Blue Vegeta. In pinches, Physical Gogeta. The fusions that we talked about earlier, STR Gogeta and AGL Super Vegito. I think that both of these characters work out very well. So these are going to be some of the best teams right now for both of these characters. We already talked about some of these other guys in longer form content. I think Namek Goku works out very well. Sometimes this guy defensively can hold it down for you with the stacking, but it's not always going to be the best with STR Vegito. It can work, but it's not going to be like a super reliable thing for you. So I would not go into most events assuming you can bring them. An honorable mention as well would go to AGL Broly. I think that he could potentially end up working out very well. And then last but not least, the potential year 7 Easy A's. So if I was setting up like an optimal Gogeta-led team, it would look something like this, it would look something like that, it would look something like this, or it would look something like this, just depending on the event that I need to run. But losing access to Beast Gohan is huge in terms of short form content, so I definitely recommend if you are looking to run like battle-hardened formidable foes, you should be running him in a bit of a different spot, right? You should be looking to run Beast Gohan and running the Vegito team. So that is what I feel for that. Let's go ahead and move on to the Carnivals. Now, first and foremost, let's do Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Now, the best way that you can run these characters, or this guy, I'm sure you guys know at this point, is obviously on the Vegito team, the Gogeta team, but he's also on a whole lot of categories, right? Something to keep in mind, I think if you are going to be looking to run separate teams here, I think Kamehameha could potentially be a very interesting category for this guy. So let's just kind of play with this idea very quickly. We do like Gohan here on the leader skill. We bring Gotenks, we bring Yu, we bring obviously this guy, and then we would kind of come down here, we'd bring Gohan, and then we just kind of find another character that would fit into the spot, right? This guy would work just fine. If the Easy A's are good for these two, we could do something like this, right? I think that would work out very well. We could bring Tech Gogeta on the team. You have a lot of options. You can bring Goku and Frieza. You can bring the Super Saiyan trio. This is a very wide range category that this guy fits very well onto, and I think that is going to be one of the best spots. So the first and foremost, most obvious one for GT Goku is going to be the Super Saiyan Vegito team. You guys know how that team works, the Super Vegito team, the Super Gogeta team. That is primarily where you're going to be wanting to run this guy, but looking at some of his other categories and honorable mentions that you would potentially want to build him on, I think Goku Family is an okay team, right? Accelerated Battle with the Glorio lead is a very good team right now. Transformation Boost under something like Tech Buhan if you really want to get freaky with it, right? The Battle of Fate team, I think this guy's going to work out very well on Uncontrollable Power. We can build that one really quickly. I think that is one of the teams that's kind of like underrated in terms of the Super Saiyan 3 Goku here. Uncontrollable Power works very well. So you do something like this, you build it like that, and you are good to go, right? You could bring Buhan here with the Rainbow Orb changing, and then last but not least, you could bring like Bio Broly, you can bring Janemba, you could bring this guy. It just all depends on the event that you want to do. So Uncontrollable Power, this is a sick team here, and it's only going to get better. here in a little bit. I think this team's is always going to have potential additions. So Uncontrollable Power is also a very good one for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. We're not looking for Broly here. We're looking for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And then when it comes to the last build here, Pure Saiyans, you guys, we already talked about him. Giant 8 Power, his own team is just not there yet. We're waiting for Daima stuff, I think, but that potentially could be coming in the future. So that is really all the teams for this guy. Let's go ahead and move on to Gohan. So the same thing, right, that we said last time, but what if you want to run a double Gohan team per se, right? You're like, I want to run 2 of this guy. I'm happy you asked, because let's go ahead and build that team. I think the best version of this team is going to go as follows. You're going to want to have Gohan, Beast Gohan, Goku and Frieza, Tech Broly, and then it kind of comes down to some free spaces, right? I think that Namek Goku for long events is really good right now. For short form content, you'd probably want to go something like Family Kamehameha, because they have the ability to stun and battle hardened foes, and then you want to do something like Evolution Blue Vegeta. I think this is going to be one of the best team builds for this specific team, and overall running 2 Gohans, I wouldn't really recommend it, but aside from the obvious teams that you guys know at this point, I think this is one way that you could do it, right? This guy's going to be fitting on Kamehameha like some of the other teams, and it works out very well. Because Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, if you guys don't know, he has a bunch of different teams, and it's going to work out very well, right? Full Power is a real team right now, right? Entrusted Will is pretty much a real team. Power Beyond Super Saiyan is getting there. Earthbred Fighters, Earth Protecting Heroes, Transformation Boost, Demonic Power. This one's going to be hard to show, but let's just play the hypothetical here, okay? So what I'll do is we will go to Demonic Power, and then this team could potentially also work for Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Now, you guys have to understand the global is going to be looking a little bit different. You guys don't seem to be a fan of when I use the private server for these videos, because you're like, how'd you rainbow everybody? I'm like, I didn't. So let's just pretend for 2 seconds, right, that Glorio is Buhan. So again, hypothetically, this is Glorio. Right? You would run Beast Gohan, you bring Family Kamehameha Gohan, you could bring this guy. The Super Easy A for this character is like okay. Future Gohan is okay, right? Fat Boo is a very good character, and you want to have like Glorio, and then you could potentially have Tech Buhan as well to run on as a rotation. This team could work out pretty well for you. Again, it's a bit of an interesting one, but like with Glorio and having that constant support, I think that's going to work out very well for Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. But with all that being said, you are going to be kind of wanting to run him on like the meta team right now under the Super Vegito lead, but there are potential options that you could do with that one. So for Gohan, you guys understand that that's how that's going to work for most events. Let's go ahead and move on here to the next character, which is going to be Evolution Blue Vegeta. This one is very simple. Really, this is his team, right? Aside from the Vegito-led team. Universe Survival Saga, you do something like this. I think this works out pretty well, or you do something like that, or you do something like this for a giant form, right? You could bring Dispo in theory, and then what you could also do is bring Jiren. So Jiren would be probably like the best option here. I still need to awaken Jiren. What are his medals looking like right now? He is not ready to go. So I do need to get the medals for Jiren. I'll get on that after I record this video. But this is really sort of the best team that you're going to want to run this guy on because like running 2 of him, obviously this is sort of how it's going to go. So TOP is really where this guy's bread's going to be buttered. But again, we've talked about it already. We don't need to go over the Vegito and the Gogeta teams. You guys know how that works at this point. He's mainly going to be relegated to a floater on that setup. So that's really all I want to mention with this Evolution Blue Vegeta. For the last character in this video, let's talk about Goku and Frieza, and we should be good to go and get up on out of here. And that is going to be just their own team to run 2 of them and get the maximum out of their support. And that is really like the main way that you're going to want to run this character, right? Outside of running them on the meta Goku, Gogeta, or Vegito team, this is where you're going to want to put them. So Battle of Fate, it's going to look something like this, right? Just kind of setting it up like this. For long form events, this is where you'd probably want to bring this guy, and if their Easy A's are good, you probably want to bring this guy to link up with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? So there you guys have it. Team builds for all of the new LRs. If you are missing some characters in the comment section below, let us know, and you could either join the community Discord, and we have all types of help for you over there. And if you don't want to join there, like I said, someone or myself will get it into the comment section below. So if you found this guide helpful, if you now know what teams to run and how to set them up, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next one.